Good day, gentlemen. In this video we will talk about the suffragette movement, a pivotal chapter in the history of women's rights. Emerged in the late 19th and early 20th centuries as a determined campaign to secure women's right to vote. Sparked by centuries of gender inequality and oppression, the movement saw women from diverse backgrounds uniting under a common cause, political equality. Suffragettes, distinct from the more peaceful suffragists, were known for their militant tactics, including hunger strikes, protests, and civil disobedience, aimed at drawing public attention to their cause and pressuring governments to enact change. We will now talk about three distinct figures in the movement, starting with Emily Pankhurst. Enjoy your turds.
Emily Pankhurst, a prominent leader of the British suffragette movement, was arrested on May 22, 1907, during a significant movement in the fight for women's suffrage. Pankhurst was the founder of the Women's Social and Political Union, an organization known for its militant tactics in advocating for women's rights to vote. The arrest occurred in the context of a demonstration organized by the WSPU outside the House of Commons in London. The protest, along with several other suffragettes, attempted to present a petition to the British government demanding women's suffrage. The authorities, however, were determined to suppress the demonstration to maintain public order and prevent any disruption to parliamentary proceedings. Pankhurst, underrated by the heavy police present, led the suffragettes in an attempt to break through the lines. The confrontation between the Protestants and the police became physical, with officers using force to push back the demonstrators. Pankhurst was the forefront of the action, embodying the defiance and determination of the movement. Her leadership and willingness to confront the authorities made her a prime target for arrest. During the scuffle, she was taken by the police. Reports from the time describe how she was forcibly dragged away, an image that could become emblematic of the suffragette struggle. The arrest of Emily Pankhurst was widely covered by the press, amplifying the visibility of the suffragette movement. Pankhurst's arrest galvanized support for the movement and drew attention to suffragettes' cause, both in Britain and internationally. In the aftermath of the arrest, Pankhurst continued to be a central figure in the suffrage movement. She and her fellow activists faced repeated imprisonment and harsh treatment, yet they remained resolute in their fight.
Christabel Harriet Pankhurst was a pivotal figure in the fight for women's rights. Born on September 22, 1880, Christabel grew up in a family dedicated to social reform. Her mother was a leading suffragette, and her father was a barrister committed to women's rights. Christabel earned a law degree from Victoria University of Manchester, but societal barriers prevented her from practicing law. This fueled her determination to fight for women's rights. In 1903, she co-founded the Women's Social and Political Union, WSPU, with her mother. The WSPU motto, "Deeds not words," reflected their commitment to direct action. Christabel quickly became known for her strategic brilliance and fearless activism. In 1905, she and Annie Kenney interrupted a political meeting to demand voting rights for women. Their arrest and their imprisonment gathered significant public attention, marking a turning point in the suffragette movement. And despite numerous imprisonments, Christabel's resolve never wavered. During World War I, she supported the war effort, believing it would strengthen the case for women's suffrage. Her efforts were rewarded in 1918 with the passage of the Representation of People Act, granting voting rights to women over 30 who met property qualifications. Christabel's legacy extends beyond the right to vote. She challenged societal norms, confronted sexism, and inspired future generations to continue the fight for equality. After the war, she moved to the United States, where she continued her advocacy for women's rights and social injustice. In conclusion, Christabel's life is a testament to the power of conviction and activism. She faced immense opposition with grace and tenacity, leaving an indelible mark on history. Let us draw inspiration from her dedication and strive for a world where equality and justice prevail.
Matilda Joslyn Gage was an important figure in the women's suffrage movement in the United States during the 19th century. Born in 1826, Gage was a tireless advocate for women's rights, suffrage, and social reform. Her activism was focused on the fight for the vote, but she was also a big supporter of Native American rights and an outspoken critic of the church's role in oppressing women at the time. Gage also co-authored The History of Woman Suffrage with Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony. This book is considered as the first text documenting the struggles and achievements of the women's rights movement. Unlike many of her contemporaries, Gage's approach was radical. She believed in a more comprehensive restructuring of society to achieve the true equality for women. Matilda Joslyn Gage's contributions to the suffrage movement were significant, but often overshadowed by her contemporaries. Her radical ideas about the intersection of gender, religion, and social justice set her apart from other suffragists. Gage's legacy is preserved through her writings and the ongoing efforts of those who continued to advocate for the comprehensive social changes she envisioned.
So, thanks for your attention, and I hope you learned something new, and you had a good time. And that's it. Bye.